Hi, everybody. Don DeCurcell here from New Jersey, USA. I did 3 sessions for this target. Here's the original target queue. And very quickly, here's my data that most closely aligns with the target points listed here. Okay, that went by pretty fast because I've got 3 sessions here that don't seem to have anything to do with the target. I'm curious. Let's see what we can learn by studying this. My first session was done in the TDS format. TDS starts off with a front page scribble, and for me at least, it sometimes conveys interesting and curious data. And this is before I even start the session. So let's have a quick look. I have no clue what this means, though I do find it curious. There's 3 separate parts. The first part, these set of loops, they seem to go flying off to the left and then jerk back to the right, ending with a dot. The second part is this open loop, leaning and perhaps even pointing to the end of the line and the dot. And the last segment, I almost missed this one, this single vertical stroke. What's that doing? No clue. And what's more interesting is I didn't even realize I scribbled 3 segments when I did this 1-second scribble. Curiously, though, this part is similar to the ghost scribble I did in my recent Philip experiment session. So I wonder if that means something. Let's get on with the data. My session first talked about a long cave-like corridor, high ceilings and dimly lit. People walking quietly with frazzled hair. A yellow-whitish directed light. Then I got a flash visual of something on a raised platform. I didn't see this clearly, but I sensed people were gathering around watching it, and I felt a military presence. Some sort of energy was applied to this thing, which led to an expected transition. Ideas. Okay, if the beings on this target planet are cave dwellers, maybe they were assembling something, some sort of shrine or monument using physical energy to get it set up. But a more exotic idea might be this data is describing some form of Stargate technology, possibly here on Earth, used to travel to other planets. In other words, you go to this location, you step through the gate, and you find yourself projected to another location. How interesting. This scenario matches my initial front page scribble. Follow-on perceptions further support this. Descending into a secret place with guarded access. A traveling aspect that involves a transformation involving some sort of exchange or flipping over, and then continuing in this new form, state, or location. This is starting to sound a lot like remote viewing. Look at this ideogram. There are 2 gaps there. My interpretation of this was physical energy directed toward continuity breaks. What does that mean? It means we are directing energy within the fabric of space-time to creating holes in the continuity of physical reality. I never thought of remote viewing as creating holes in the continuity of physical reality, but in a sense, that's exactly what we seem to do. I love it. Think about it. We as human remote viewers exist within the fabric of space-time, and we are directing our energy, our intent, to cut through that continuity of space-time so we can perceive. Now that's almost educational. I continued getting a traveling aspect with AOLs of to the stars and to distant galaxies. I actually find these items curiously in line with the goals of the perception of a distant planet. My Matrix session also remained consistent with this theme, as did my session summary. So to summarize all this, I seem to be traveling using some sort of directed energy aimed at gaps in the fabric of space-time. Is this what remote viewing does? My second session also continued on this theme, which I summarized here, a process of focused energy used to investigate specific moments or elements viewed for further consideration and deliberation. Here my data shifted away from that Stargate-type solution to something more ethereal, like remote viewing or having a godlike perception, or politicians. After studying these data, I believe my subconscious was describing how it would view a distant location, a sense of traveling first in a dimly lit environment, then brightly lit, like your consciousness is first in the dark, then emerges from the darkness. A traveling aspect that involved a transformation, with AOLs of traveling to the stars and distant galaxies and shifting to another dimension. It's all interesting considering the tasker's intent to do something just like that. My third session started giving data more along the lines of what you saw in the beginning. I had arrived at something like a camp with multiple people standing and talking by the fire. The panorama was sloped with hard edges, cracked, and snow. I had an AOL of Mount Everest's Khumbu ice falls. Repeated perceptions of vertical surfaces with gaps that were slippery in bright light. Downward slides that were smooth, snow and ice. I felt a sense of apprehension standing on a mountaintop and worried about getting down. In this worksheet, I felt like I was climbing, trekking on snow and ice with walking sticks or ski poles. If most of this data is metaphoric, it is certainly hinting at a hard, cold, rugged terrain like I showed in the beginning. And, well, I guess that's about it. Thank you for watching.